I'm not going to talk about my sexual history because my mom's here. I also can't fill up a 5-minute story with me just lying there and doing nothing, which is my sexual history. But since I brought up my mom, I grew up in a pretty sexually liberated house. You know, sex wasn't a big deal. Nudity wasn't a big deal. Not that those things are necessarily related, but my mom was naked a lot. A lot. And that's okay. It was in her house. That's how she did it. It's her house, right? Yeah. She was into talking about bodies, my body. When my boobs came in, she couldn't wait for me to go out and get a bra that I didn't want, that I didn't think I needed. But then I recently saw a picture of me when I was 11 on a trampoline. I absolutely needed a bra. When I got my period, she was way too excited for that shit. I was supposed to go see a Very Brady sequel with my friend, and she wanted me to stay home for her Claire Huxtable moment. She wanted a Women's Day celebration. I didn't like the way she said body part words, like bubs, which are boobs, which are breasts. And I don't like that word either, breast. But I'm okay with the word best. It's weird. She just wanted to talk about bodies and sex and everything. I hated it. I hated it. And it only got worse as I got older. When I was 15, we went to the movies to see The Sixth Sense, but The Sixth Sense was sold out. So instead, we saw American Pie. You remember, one of the greatest movies of our time. Suburban kids, and one fucked a pie, and the girl with the flute and her pussy. And then at one point, somebody's being filmed without their knowledge. What a movie. It's not something I wanted to see with Mother. So for 95 minutes, I slouched in my chair, cringing at every moment while she laughed out loud with glee and kept looking over at me for a reaction. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I was dead inside. I died that day. And she was full of life, and I knew she'd be full of conversation. I knew she'd want to ask me about the movie, and if I had any questions, I did not. When I was 16 and I got my first real boyfriend, as opposed to the ones that I made up in my head, she wanted me to immediately go on the pill. And I wasn't even touching him. I liked the snacks that his mom kept at their house. When I was 17, she opened up a sex toy shop. Naturally, next to a church and across from a school. She even named her store her sex toy store after me. Isn't that great? Ashley's Unique Gifts, which supplied vibrators and edible underwear exclusively for women who, for some reason, reminded me of Ursula from The Little Mermaid. I didn't know if that was going to land. And, you know, she would pick me up at school with my friends in her minivan, and it wasn't uncommon for them to see supplies in the back, sex swings. I still don't even know how those work. It wasn't unusual for dildos to grace our coffee table. Horrifying, sure, but not unusual. And because of my vindictive and evil nature, I was sharing this with you with the sole purpose of embarrassing her tonight. But Nancy changed my mind. Instead, I want to thank her for making sex natural and celebratory, super gross, and the body not so taboo, right? Because a lot of people grew up not being able to share. So I want to thank you. And because of you, Mommy, I fucked so many men in my 20s. Like so many. So many. Thank you.